Somewhere on your head, there's a thin line of scalp about the width of a pencil, and it is the one part of you that tells your real age before your face gets a chance to. It's your part. And the rule everybody repeats about it, move it to the side and you'll look 10 years younger, is the wrong rule, aimed at the right line. I'm Rosalind Gray. Here's the honest part, and I want you to hold on to it. If you've ever walked out of a salon looking 10 years older, that was never your fault. Nobody ever taught you what to actually ask for. I spent 35 years behind the chair and I watched women guess wrong in both directions every single week. So tonight, I'm going to teach you to see it for yourself in your own mirror before anyone picks up the scissors. 5 things about that line. We count down. Number 1 is the one on your head right now. Number 5, the part you've had since you were 19. You know the one. Same side, same place. Since a photograph you still have somewhere. You've never once decided it. Your hands do it wet out of the shower without asking you. Here's what's happened underneath it while you weren't looking. Every hair on your head sits at an angle in the scalp. Up front near your face, it comes out almost flat, 15 or 20 degrees, leaning forward. Further back on top, it's steeper, 30 to 45. That angle is built in. It doesn't move. So when you keep a part in the same trench for 40 years, you're laying every hair down the direction it already wanted to fall. Flat against the scalp, and flat is the one thing that reads old at the root. Takes about 5 years off just to break it. I had a woman named Marjorie, 68, who'd worn a hard left part since her wedding. I combed it 2 inches over, didn't cut a thing, and she went quiet and said, "That's my mother's face gone. Do this now." Run a finger down your part and feel for the little trench in the scalp. If there's a groove there, if your finger falls into it, that part has been in the same place too long. And here's the honest part about fixing it. Move it, but don't believe the promise that comes with it. You cannot train your hair. No amount of brushing, drying, or pinning teaches a follicle to grow a new direction. The angle is anatomy. What you get is lift at the root, while it's fighting to go back, and that lift is worth having. So move it a finger's width off the old trench, not to the other side of your head. Tell your stylist, cut it so it sits half an inch off my natural part. She'll know what that means. That fixes flatness. But number 4 is why the part looks wider than it did 5 years ago, and it has nothing to do with hair falling out. Number 4, the part that got wider without you losing any hair. Picture it in the bathroom light. Same hair, same amount coming out in the brush, no more than usual. But the line is showing more scalp than it did, and it shows worst under the light over the mirror. Here's the mechanism, and it's not what you've been told. You haven't lost hairs. Each individual hair got thinner. The width of a single strand climbs through your life and peaks somewhere in your 40s, around 43 to 46, and then it comes down. Same number of hairs on your head, each one finer, so the same hairs cover less ground. The scalp shows through, nothing fell out, it just got skinnier. That's why the widening part sneaks up on women. You're washing the drain and the brush for evidence, and there isn't any. Doreen, 71, brought me a photograph of her drain to prove she wasn't shedding. She was right. She wasn't. Do this now. Comb your part in the strongest light you've got, then move to a lamp beside you instead of above you. Overhead light drives straight down the parting trench and prints scalp. Side light doesn't. If your part looks fine at the window and terrible in the bathroom, that's overhead light, not new hair loss. The fix is a cut, not a product. Ask for weight taken out underneath and none off the top. Tell her, keep every hair on the top layer full length. Take the bulk out below. Thick ends under thin top is what makes a part look narrow again. And never let anybody layer the top of your head to add movement over 60. That's how a part goes from a line to a runway. I want to give you something before we get to number 3 because this is exactly where women used to stop me at the desk. For years, I'd finish a blow dry and the woman in my chair would say, "Write this down for me." Not the cut, the words. What do I say next time when I'm in someone else's chair and she's already reaching for the scissors? So eventually I did write it down. It's called the Ageless Hair Handbook, and it's every cut and every part in this video, plus a good many more, matched to your face and to your hair type. Thin, fine, curly, wavy, gray. With the exact sentence to hand your stylist for each one. One guide on your phone, open on your lap while you're sitting under the gown. Now, most of you are watching this on television, so a link under the video does you no good at all. There's a small square code down in the corner of your screen. Point your phone camera at it, and it'll open by itself. Nothing to type. If you're on a phone or a tablet, it's the first link right under this video, and if you'd rather not fuss with any of that, just go to rosalindgray.com. That's rosalindgray.com. It isn't a course, and there's nothing to sign up for. It's the tells written down so you can read your own head before somebody with scissors reads it for you. Now, back to the countdown. Number 3, the part you've been hiding instead of protecting. This one isn't about how it looks. Stay with me, because it's the one I'd want my sister to hear. Your part is a strip of bare skin, an inch wide that faces straight up at the sky every single time you walk out the door. Every other bit of your scalp is under a roof of hair, That line isn't, and it's been getting sun on it uncovered since you were a girl, gardening, walking to the car, sitting out at somebody's barbecue. Skin cancer on the scalp is a different animal from skin cancer on your arm. On an arm, 5 years on, better than 9 in 10 women are alive. On the scalp and the neck, it's closer to 8 in 10. Same disease, worse odds, because nobody sees it up there. Not you, not your husband. Your hairdresser sees it. I found 2 in 30, 5 years, and one of them was on a woman named Pat who came in every 6 weeks and had no idea. I told her to get it looked at. She sent me a card that Christmas. Do this now. Take a hand mirror to a window in daylight and open your part with a comb. Look at the bare strip, the whole length of it, front to crown. Anything on that line that's changed shape, changed color, or won't heal, that's a doctor's appointment, not a hairdresser's. The fix takes 10 seconds. Sunscreen goes on dry hair straight down the part line. Before you go out, 30 blocks about 97% of it, 50 gets you 98. So anything in that range is plenty. A hat with a tight weave beats both. And ask your stylist to look every time you're in, have a look down my part while I'm here. That's the one that matters most. But number 2 is the one costing you the most years in the mirror, and it's the one the whole internet has backwards. Number 2, the part you've been styling for volume. Here's the picture. Deep side part, pushed hard over, backcombed underneath, held up with spray. Big. You've done it for church, for photographs, for anywhere you want it to look like you've made an effort. Every magazine you've ever read told you volume is youth. I'll be straight with you the way I was with every woman in my chair. It isn't. Put 2 heads side by side, one big and lifted, one smooth and shining and lying in one direction. And it's the smooth one people read as younger, every time. High volume doesn't score young. It scores done. Shine and hairs all going the same way is what reads young, and it beats volume by a mile. That's 30 years of us all pulling in the wrong direction. A woman named Eleanor sat down in front of me at 74 and asked for more body on top. She'd asked for it for 2 decades. I dried it flat and glossy instead, one direction, and her daughter asked what she'd had done to her face. And notice what that does to the part underneath. Back home along a parting. And you're roughing up the exact strip that's already showing scalp, which is why the big styles pull the eye straight to the line you're trying to cover. Do this now. 2 photographs in the same light, one with your hair up and full the way you always wear it, one with it smoothed down, flat and shiny, one direction. Then leave them a day and come back and look. Don't judge in the moment. You'll pick the one that feels like effort. Come back cold and pick the one that looks younger. The fix is a finishing instruction, not a cut. Tell her no back combing, no lift at the crown, dry it smooth and shiny in one direction. If you have curly or wavy hair, you're not smoothing it out. Shine in one direction for you means every curl going the same way with the frizz gone, not a flat iron. Which brings me to the one I promised you at the start. Number 1, the part that's aging you is the one you've stopped looking at. This is the one nearly every woman over 60 has on her head right now. And I mean right now, tonight, while you're sitting there. Somewhere along the line, your part stopped being a place where hair sits and turned into the place you're getting older fastest. And you stop looking directly at it, you comb over it, you spray it, you turn your head in photographs. You have not stood in a good light and looked straight down at that line in years. Here's why it matters more than anything else in this video. Of women in their 60s, 3 or 4 out of every 10 have real thinning at that center line. After menopause, it can be more than half. That isn't unusual, and it isn't a failure. It's most of the room. But the first sign is never a clump in the drain, and it's never a hairline going backwards. It's the part getting wider. That's it. That's the whole warning. And the reason it goes unnoticed for years is that women are watching for the wrong thing entirely, waiting for hair to come out. Now, here's the part I'd tell you if you were in my chair. And this is the truth about the rule in the title. Moving your part doesn't take 10 years off your face. Nothing about where you place a line changes how old you look, and anybody selling you that is selling you folklore. What moving it actually does is show you the truth of what's underneath in a different light where you can finally see it. That's worth more than the trick. The line where your hair splits is the honest one on your whole head. The rest of you is styled. The one thing that does move the needle measurably, and it isn't volume and it isn't the part, it's gray. Gray hair reads about 1.25 times older on a face. That's a woman of 30 reading as 36. Color puts a 1.5 years back on the clock all by itself. So if you're chasing 10 years with a comb, you're working the smallest lever on the table. Ivy, 79, sat in my chair and told me she'd been parting it on the left for 60 years to hide the bald bit. It wasn't bald, it was a part that had widened 1/4 inch a decade. And she'd been so busy covering it, she'd never once looked at it. She cried a little. Then she said, well, at least now I know what I'm looking at. Do this now, and this is the one I actually want you to do. Comb your part, take a photograph straight down onto it, phone above your head, flash on, and put a date on it. Not to worry over, so that in 6 months you have something to compare it against instead of a feeling. A widening you can measure is a widening you can do something about. A feeling in a bathroom mirror at 11 at night is nothing but dread. The fix is words, and they're the most useful ones I'll give you tonight. Say to your stylist, my part is widening, where should I move it and how should I cut around it? Not I'm losing my hair, that gets you sympathy. The first one gets you a plan, and if the line has changed fast, don't take it to me or anyone like me. Take it to a doctor. So before your next appointment, before you sit down, hand over your head and say, same as usual, do one thing. Take a hand mirror to a window in daylight and look straight down your part. All of it, front to crown, because with hair after 60, it's never the length that ages you, and it's never how tidy it looks to a stranger. It's the line where the hair opens. The mirror shows you the hair. Only the light shows you the part. In 35 years, I watched too many women spend a decade hiding a thing they never actually looked at. Not one of them ever needed hiding as badly as she thought. If you do one thing for me, tap the like button so this lands in front of another woman who's been combing over that line for years and blaming herself for it. Subscribe if you want the next one, where I go through the 5 things a stylist does to a woman over 60 without asking, and exactly what to say to stop each one before the scissors come out. And tell me below, what's the last cut or color that made you feel older walking out than walking in, and who talked you into it? I read every single one of them. Number 1 is on your head right now. Go find a window. Look at it before somebody else does.